What's up? What's up? What's up? Marriage the Real Talk. Your girl Amber here. I am super excited because we have a wonderful, wonderful conversation that's coming up today for you all, for everyone. And so before we get into that conversation, if this is your first time joining us online, welcome. Come on in. Marriage the Real Talk. Though it says marriage the real talk, is for singles, married, divorced, widows, separated. Situationship is confusing. We're all here together for a couple reasons, simply to encourage, uplift, learn, and grow through our relationship journeys. I like to say it's relationship conversations with inspiration. And so, if you're here, we hope you stay here. If you just came to see our guests, that's fine too. But you will learn here in our group, in our community. We love sharing, having a good time. And so we encourage you to stick around, okay? So I have some phenomenal guests. Some of them some people know them because they're pretty well known, I think, in Columbus anyway. And they are going to come and talk to us, give us some insights, some nuggets, some gems in regards to their personal experience associated with faith, marriage, and family. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring our guests up. Apostle Terry and Janet Stevens, thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
Good. Doing good. Hey,
Y'all looking good, looking good. And so we're so happy to have you here. And like I said, today's conversation is going to be talking about faith, marriage, and family. And so before we get into the goods, and I know how fast time will go, it always goes fast, give our audience a little bit about you, who you are, where you reside, number of kids, how long you've been married, all that jazz. Go for it.
all right. Well, I'll start. Hello, everybody. I'm Janet Stevens, and listen, I am a whole lot of things, but first of all, I am this man's wife. Terry Stevens is his name. We both pastor an amazing church here in the city, a Manifestation Church in Reynoldsburg at the corner of Brights and Livingston. And
Yes.
coming this summer, it'll be 11 years in pastoring. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yes. And so I am personally, I look at myself as a woman that is full of joy, right? God has given this impartation of joy to me, and I believe it's my job to share it with the world. Anyone who comes in my presence should leave feeling better, and so that's kind of my life's goal. But a part of what I do is to help women, especially, to walk in wholeness through transformation, through vulnerability. Right? I always say that we must create safe spaces for women or anyone to be vulnerable enough that they can come to the place of deliverance and then transformation. And so that's what we've been doing, or what I've been doing. But on top of that, we have a blended family of 6 children. We call ourselves the Black Brady Bunch.
Ooh.
We just don't have Alice. And so when we used to say the Black Brady Bunch, then my husband, he started adding, but we don't have Alice. I was like, yeah, they did have Alice, didn't they? But currently we are empty nesters.
Hey, look.
We do have one who is in college though. And so he comes in and out, between breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And our baby girl is going to be graduating high school this summer.
Wow. That is awesome.
Oh my goodness, right?
I'm having a child support complete party, y'all.
Yeah, listen.
I'll be ready in June.
Amber girl.
We gotta hurry up. Hold on. We gotta get, because that comment alone tell me y'all about to be a whole lot of fun.
So, oh my goodness. So, so this blended baby, but we do have 2 grandbabies now, right? So we have a 3-year-old Aislinn, who everybody probably knows. She's 3 years old, and we have a newbie, Amari, and he is 5 months old. Mm-hmm. And so we got 2 grandbabies now.
I love it.
Tell them about you.
Oh, mine is gonna be real quick, y'all.
Men always got a few words.
Few words.
Okay, I love it. Go for it.
I'm Terry Stevens. I'm a military man at 22 years, pastor at Manifestation Church, as my wife has said. Yeah, that's it.
No,
You said everything else, right? That's
you
how
will
She
say
said everything
your
else.
pastor, you're my husband. Come on,
you know how it go. My husband the same way. He's a man of few words. We say everything and they just put a little sprinkle. But
Yeah,
you know what?
right.
It works together. Well, again, thank you both for being here. We have several questions that we want to get out because you guys do have all of these dynamics and backgrounds and experiences and a blended family and ministry. So we're going to dive right into them real quick and give these answers real quick because I want to get through as many as possible. How did you meet and how long have you been married?
All right. Well, the quick answer, you said you want a quick answer. Quick answer is we met at church.
Yep.
And we have been married for 11 years.
Yep.
We met at church.
Okay. So we have this faith thing in the middle of our conversation today. Let's just dive right into that, especially because you met at church.
Yeah.
How important what is your definition of faith? And how important is it to have faith in your relationship?
Ooh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, faith is very important because without faith it's impossible to please God. But also, without faith, then that means that you are living your life by your own decisions and your own merit versus being led by God. Mm-hmm. And so, for us, faith is very important because we were just talking about this the other day. We make decisions based on hearing from God, and that has been a major part of our success has been God leading us and telling us what to do and where to go and how to do it. And that's really caused us to have some level of success. And so we're grateful for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you want to say anything on that?
Well, I would just say where faith really plays a part is faith being that we believe faith comes by hearing by the word of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And faith comes by hearing from God, hearing instructions by him. So when we don't know what to do or when we have run out of solutions, we have to come back to, okay, what does the word say about it? Mm-hmm. Where do we stand when it comes to God about this? And if God and faith is the foundation, then if you ever get off track, you still have to come back to the center of what does God say?
Yeah, that's good. And I always say that faith is like what you said, the foundations, which is also why I don't understand, this is just my opinion, how people are able to stay married without faith. Because it takes faith to start, but it definitely takes faith to continue, especially when everybody's changing, evolving, and shifting, and seasons of life get to going. And so even on that point, what would you say to somebody who says, I don't have any faith, I don't need faith for my relationship? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. We could really go into a long...
I know. I told you I'm going to be on the fly. They come to me and I just...
That's a good... One of the things that we talk about a lot is compatibility.
Okay.
And I really believe that some of the success that unbelievers are having when it comes to marriage is that they are compatible, and they have agreement, and so that I believe that helps them. Now it's a difference now, but when you're living your life and you want to please God versus you're living your life and you just want to stay married. I mean, that's a big difference. And the truth is, some unbelievers are doing better at marriage than some believers because they have a healthy, practical balance of walking in agreement.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could. Oh, I can't even go down that.
And I believe faith should lead us to the place of agreement. Right? Because if faith ultimately is the word of God, right? Faith is not your own imagination or your own belief. Eventually, the middle of the road should be faith. What does God say?
That's good. That's good. And what I like about it, just in my personal life, when I'm off or my husband's off, because faith is our foundation, it is that glue that brings us back center every time. And it may take us a little while, depending on where we're at and what season, but it is that thing that catch you and bring you back. And so for me, if you don't have that, and this could just be my experience and my belief, that I don't know how you get brought back. But to your point, Apostle, some people just are really good with commitment because they know how to agree. So with or without faith, they can do well. So I appreciate that viewpoint. Next question is, we're going to jump into the marriage aspect of your relationship. So y'all been married for 11 years, blended family. This is off the cuff. What was it like for you when you first, well, I'll go off of that. What was it like for you when you first got married and you had this blended family? I'll leave that next question after this. We got to talk about that blended family first. Okay, we can't skip over that. What was that really like? I want to hear from both people on this.
Well, what I would say first is that I think we were more afraid than they were. Right? We were more cautious, wondering, oh my, how are they feeling? What do they think? What's, where they were like, we're already here. What's going on? What's up? Let's go, But how I always look at a blended family is this way. So when you're making a smoothie, right, and you got everything in the blender, you see the apples, you see the strawberries, you see the nuts, you see the fiber, you see all those things, and you are able to differentiate what's what. But when you finally get to the place where you are blended, now it's smooth that you don't know where the strawberries are, you don't know where the berries, you don't know where the protein is, because everything has blended together. And so I think that it takes time, though,
come on,
to get to that place where things are blended, where you have all this individuality but coming together under one vision.
That's good.
The blended family piece, it did surprise us at the beginning, especially for me. I think her kids she might have been preparing her kids earlier than I was preparing mine.
Sound like a woman to me.
Yeah, So, but the kids were ready before we were, and I was always very cautious of both of our children. First of all, my children have a good mother. And so we wanted to make sure we established those things, that, hey, this is not a replacement for your mother.
That's right.
We're not fighting between households and things of that nature. We're just coming together, and we're all going to be family. As well as respecting her children's fathers. Regardless of the amount of child support they may have paid or may not have paid, or their involvement in their children's life.
That's right.
I wanted to make sure that I was respecting them, and I'm not a replacement for your father. I'm someone here to come in to help the family, be a good example to and for you, and be here if you ever need anyone. So that was very important for me. I remember she used to say, she used to tell the kids, she say, well, ask your dad. And I kind of got a little upset about that. So wait a minute now, let's not disrespect their natural fathers, regardless of their involvement. I wanted to always keep that open and let the children make that decision on when and if they would ever call me dad.
Wow.
And so, time does that. Okay. Time does that. And so I think I have a pretty good relationship with her children, as well as she has a great relationship with mine as well.
Yeah. And I think a part of that, when you're blending and you're coming from what was to what is, you have there could be feelings of shame, guilt, just all unforgiveness that still you have to deal with. That's the reality. And we can say all day No, I'm in a healed place now, so I could be in a new relationship. Baby, you wait for something trigger, okay?
Woo!
But a part of
Okay.
why I used to, and I had talked to him about this, so it's not new. But one of the things I would say to him about why I would say, go ask your dad or go talk to your dad. So it wasn't so much about them calling him dad, but it's something about the word dad that brings order and that shows the alignment of the house.
Come on.
And so it
Okay.
shows, okay, this is the dad of the house, or this is the father, this is the leader of our house. And so when you say that, there comes a certain authority or certain position verbally by saying, go say something to your dad versus me saying, go talk to TW. Well, no, you know. So you know what I mean?
She had mentioned the shame and things of that nature. That was an issue that I had to go through. My children eventually moved to North Carolina at some point, and so I had to deal with the shame of, hey, I was able to invest in and have all this time for her children, but not able to really be there as much as I would have liked to with my own children. And it caused me to be a little hesitant with her children, especially with her son when it came to sports and things of that nature. I'm like, man, how can I be helping him with his children and I'm not there for my own boys? And so I had to walk through that. It was a difficult time. It wasn't fair to her son, neither was it fair to my own children. But I had to navigate that. It was very difficult. I'm grateful though that her son and myself and all of us, we have blended well. God has been good to us.
Listen, so
how long did it take y'all to blend? If you had to say, because like you said, it took some time. I've heard time a couple times here. So would you say it was 5? If y'all been married 11 years, would you say that's 5 years in? If you had to give like,
well, I would 5 years would probably be a good number. But what I would say to you is this, and let me get myself together so I don't get emotional. But last year, 2 years ago, when our sons they graduated a year apart, right? But they went to a sports prep school together in Myrtle Beach, right? But they went as brothers. It wasn't, this is my stepbrother. Like they literally went as, when we saw them, the glue that they had, the respect that they had for each other, the love. I mean, it was like when they went, one knew who was going to be the cook, one knew who was going to be the cleaner. Well, they knew how to have each other's back in a state they never lived before. They knew who was going to have the money or who was going to shop. One had even got into trouble, okay? And the other one had to go to the place to go get him out, right? But he called us like, I just want y'all to know what's happening, but I don't know, I took care of it. It was like, because this is my brother and this is what we do. And it's like, what? Like, oh my gosh. It is.
That's a big part of what you guys instill in them to get to that place. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I think her children were looking for family. So they were very open to, just to the whole concept of having mom and dad and family. I think they were very open to that. My children had always known it. So, they were kind of used to it, but then they were kind of navigating, okay, dad is gone now and there's this new family here. And just walking through those times, one of the things that at least I tried to do, I tried to be as open as possible and create an atmosphere that they could say what needed to be said in a respectful way to really kind of deal with some things. I remember my oldest son, this was the first summer that they came to live with us since they had moved to North Carolina. And I could just see he was struggling. He was struggling. He
He was so angry.
He was getting mouthy and all that kind of stuff. And I said that.
No, we couldn't do it because it was such a sensitive space for him. You know what I mean? And so, although I think he might have popped him eventually, but he had to give him that space and that opportunity to get some things off of his chest that he needed to release as a child who had gone through divorce, right? Because he remembers what it's like for the family to be together and then to no longer to be together. You know what I mean? Yeah. And have all those feelings and thoughts. And so it was definitely.
Well, on that note, real quick, did you guys do any counseling? I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to get back to some other questions. In those transitions where you're seeing the kids kind of acting out and everybody's trying to, blend, what was that process like? Did you do counseling? Was it just a lot of those one-on-one conversations? Of course, I'm sure prayer, but give us some practical, what did you do to help your family blend?
There was a lot of one-on-one conversations. We did not do counseling. We probably should have, looking back, especially since we counsel a whole lot of people. But we did not do counseling with them, but we did have a lot of one-on-ones with them. I think a part of that too, going back really quick to me saying, ask your dad, when it was talking about the sibling group, I would say, your brother or your sister, right? To put that in their head, we are family. This is my brother. This is my sister. This is what we do for each other. This is what this looks like. Because I remember with my half sister that my mom, who was no joke, right? And she was very insensitive to the situation. She would say, that's your friend, right? Wow. And so how you treat your friends and how you would treat your siblings is totally different. And it was a while before I think we totally embraced her as a sister or as a sibling after we had allowed that word to gel in our heart. Wow. And so I immediately started saying your sister, your brother. Right?
Well, another thing too is we don't want to paint this picture like it was a bed of roses.
Give us the real talk, okay? And then I got another question. So give us the real talk, and then I'm throwing a new question.
Come July 30th, I love my kids, but I'm about ready for them to go home. You know what I mean?
So every summer, everybody would be together. 6 kids and us. Woo!
Grocery bill went crazy.
What? One time we lived in a shack. Literally, it was 1,200 square feet. It was a shack.
She said, baby, it wasn't no shack.
Listen, it was.
Come on, real talk.
Baby, listen.
Well, for the men.
It's itty bitty house.
For the men that, and we didn't get to talk about this part, but for the men that are watching, I'm paying $800 in child support. And that $800 still goes to their mama in the summertime when they're with me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, it was.
Honey, that house was a shack, baby. But listen, God has been good. God, oh, glory. He done brought us to a new place.
Yeah. Next question is going to be specifically about y'all as a married couple. So we talked a little bit about faith. We're talking about the family. Let's jump into the marriage pieces. What's one of the biggest challenges you have experienced as a couple? What's one of the biggest challenges you face and maybe how you got through that?
Initially, I would say it was money. Coming together as one financially, right?
Yeah, for men, divorce is different for women. So for men,
some women, because there's some rich women.
Some but for
Mary J. Blige,
But for some men, our money is now gone. Our money has been taken. With no regard for how we're supposed to live the rest of our life.
Think about that, y'all.
Yeah,
throwing niggas out here at somebody. Okay. Council talks.
I learned firsthand what they talked about when they said it's cheaper to keep her. But So I don't want to get too far into that.
So money. Listen, what happened is God, when we were talking about it, because he he was in this place like, dog, all my money getting gone. So 50-50 did not work. And so the idea of right? And so when we would talk about it, it was always this kind of frustration when we were talking about money. And so what happened is, I believe God gave me a strategy, one, with how to bring it up in conversation, but because some things my husband is visual on, where he needs to see it, like he wanted on paper, he want to see it. That's the military in him. And so I had to learn to embrace that and appreciate that part of him, right? Instead of bucking against it, which is what I was doing. So one day, literally, I had got out a whiteboard. God has showed me the numbers, how to write them out, how to position it. Even with it came to percentages, right? And so he made more money than me, but I brought home more than he at that time, right? And so basically, we did it as a 60%. So 60% of your money, what you bring home, comes to the house account. 60% of what I bring home comes to the house account. And so although the numbers were different, the weight was the same.
Yeah.
We both felt it the same.
The same. That's good. And finding that even balance so nobody's consistently frustrating probably helped you to get past that, I'm assuming. Yeah. That's some good advice. I'm taking some advice on that too. Let's throw into the next one. So what advice do you have for our newlyweds, the people who desire to get married? And I mean, thinking through the whole scope. So you were single, married, divorced, blended family, church, ministers. Like, if you could just give some quick nuggets of advice for people who are about to get married, about to start the journey, or those who just desire to have that at some point, we want to hear it.
Yeah, definitely what I'm going to say is love cannot be all that you have. You got to have
the feelings of love.
The feelings of love. Yeah, the feelings of love. You really, really need compatibility. You need a agreement in most areas. You need faith. You need God. You need God to show you how to operate your marriage. Everybody's marriage is different. Everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and so you can't pattern your marriage after ours. You can't pattern your marriage after your own parents.
Yeah, man,
you two have to come together and agree on what's best for you. And you have to put your egos aside. And say, okay, listen, you're better at finances than I am. So how about you lead in this area of finance here? And you're better in this area when it comes to discipline with the kids and stuff. All right. So then you lead in this particular area, and you follow vice versa based on who's getting better results in that particular area. It's not that you're a better person; it's that you're better in that particular area.
That's good.
That's real good. And being able to humble yourself. Yes, man, you are the leader, but you don't have to be the leader in every area.
Right.
At the end of the day, God's going to come to you, yes, but you don't have to be the leader in every area. And God gives you your helpmeet for a reason, so that she can help.
Yeah.
And so you have to empower her to do that.
Yeah.
And that is using her strengths for the good of your marriage, as well as using your strengths as well.
Yeah, I think that's that whole submission one to the other, right? That it talks about in scripture. When you can understand each other's strengths and how you support, how one strength may support the weakness of someone else, right? Yeah. And so it makes us both better together. The one thing I would say is that it is so important. This is one of the things my husband taught me in our dating time, was it is so important to know who you are, to be able to to hear from God, from your creator, to hear God's design for you. Why are you here? What's your purpose in the earth?
Yeah.
What's the call of God on your life? What is your assignment? But hearing from God in that way, to know that although I might be attracted to you, although I might like you, although we might have fun together, but do we serve purpose together? And so can I help you? And so with men, it's so important that they spend time in their singleness to know what is the vision for my life. And so when you talk about a helpmeet, it's really, this helpmeet is coming to help accomplish vision for my life. But if you don't know vision, man or woman, if you don't know what you can help, then you could have a bunch of confusion going on together because we both feel good together. Yeah, and so I think that's major because I need to know who I'm designed to help. I might not know his face or what he looked like. I think that's a huge mistake that especially Christian women make when some prophet liar comes along and say, this person is your husband. No, there might be a characteristic, right, that you're looking for, but that might not be the face. And so, but I need to know who I'm designed to help because I can't help everybody. And one of the things I say to singles, this is an extreme example, but if he's a rapper, right, what can you help him to do? Can you help draw up a contract? Are you jealous? Are you self insecure? Can you be confident in yourself when you go to a concert and all the girls want to come up and take a picture with him and want him to hug them? Are you insecure? Can you deal with that? Can you handle that? Pastors, can you deal with the same woman coming up for prayer and wanting to get up close and fall out onto the pastor? Okay. Can you deal with that? Are you confident to know that he chose you? Right. With that, can you sit at the table, this rapper, can you sit at the table and discern that it could be an illegal contract? Right? Do you have the influence to get people to his concert? And so, are you designed to help this person accomplish what they believe is vision for their life?
And can you explain your vision? Have you done enough research of your vision to be able to write down your vision so that she knows exactly what part she plays in it and what she needs to be able to do? You need to have it written down. I had my plans and everything, written down on what I had planned to do and all of that, so she could read it and understand it.
Literally, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
But he had some history too that probably helped you better prepare.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a throw off question to that. For those who I'm already engaged, I'm already married, I'm 1 year in this thing, and this sucker is not what I thought it was going to be. And we ain't had no plan, and I didn't know I needed to be that type of a helpmeet. But now I'm in this thing. Help me. What kind of advice do you say to those people who didn't know what they didn't know, which is what I love about our community, is kind of throwing out some things for us to chew on, to think about, to even know, to pray about, because we just don't know because nobody ain't talking about it, right? And so I'm, hypothetically, I'm in the thick of it. I am married. I don't have a vision and I'm a man, but I want to lead her, or I want to be a helpmeet, but I really don't know how. What advice do we have for those people?
Well, plug before he starts talking. This is why we do this. We have this community or event that we do. We call Love Reformation. Let's go back to reform. Right? Let's go back to the foundation. We might need to dig up. We might need to plant again, whatever. We might need to pour the cement again, but let's go back to this foundation or to this vision or create a vision so that we can walk in a place of agreement.
You got to go back to the table of agreement and go back and
you mean to tell me agreement is not just I do, Pastor Terry? You busted somebody's bubble out here. They thought it was just I do. And boom, bam, one and done. We out here. We about to have a party. It's going to be grand. You mean I got to keep hitting this agreement place? I got to keep sitting at the table? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
What? You got to keep saying I do.
Listen, the truth is you really need God, especially for a man to have your vision. You need God to have a vision for your life, because God knows you better than anyone. He knows you better than you know yourself, and you really need to know and understand yourself, your gifts and your talents, what you do well, what you don't do well, because you know how what they say staff your weaknesses, brother. Well, brother, your wife should she should have all of her strength should be complementing your weaknesses. You need to staff your weaknesses so that nothing is missing and nothing is broken. And if you have not done that already, then take what you have and say, here's one of the worst things you can do is you can try to make your woman be who you want her to be versus taking the good that God created her to be and using that to help you. You cause more strain by trying to change her than you would by taking the good that's in her and using that to help you. On the other end, the same way for the wife, you trying to change him and make him who you want him to be instead of respecting what God has made him and created him to be.
Yeah.
No, y'all both come together and say, brother, I have seen you and you do this well. You are not good at that. Come on, somebody.
And that's
a pipe drink, brother. That's a pipe drink.
I think that's the place of greatest contention, probably in relationships and marriage, is one, being able to be honest, right? But being able to agree or to acknowledge what is someone's strengths and to keep that acknowledgement before you, right? So every day, based on what you see, you gotta say, I do every day. You have to say, I do to what you see right now. Not what you hope to see, what you want to see. That might be a what's the word I'm looking for? A potential. You don't marry potential. You marry what's right now.
That's right. She used to hate when I said it, but I used to say all the time, I don't complain about my wife because I knew what I was getting when I married her.
Yeah.
I knew the good, the bad, and the ugly, and so I don't complain about it. And if she never grows into the potential that I see, I'm married what was in 2010.
I love it.
So I got to stay satisfied with what was, regardless. So yeah.
So good. So good. So I'm not even going on it because I can go down another path. I'm gonna go to
pretty girl.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. We got to talk about this, yes, blended life, but on top of that, y'all got a church like that, and you got taken on everybody else. You know, is the layers of the whole circle. How do you manage that home life, being pastors, and I'm gonna throw this in here, being individuals? Because I know a conversation me and my husband have had. I've been married 9 years, and so we learned that. Yes, you're married, and yes, you have these things you do together, but you're still individual too. And you can't lose that part of you too under the umbrella of all these other things. So give us a snippet of how do you navigate and manage these different roles and staying true to just who you are and taking care of you.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that we do is that we don't put pressure on each other to perform. I don't have undue pressure on her to do certain things that she may not be comfortable at doing. If I ask her to do something, it's likely because I know she can do it and she's already good at it. And so we try to keep it stress-free with that, as well as, we're compatible. We love church.
Honey,
we go to church for fun. You hear me? We're pew babies.
Baby, he take me to a good shouting experience. Baby, I done had a good day.
I love it.
Yeah, we go to church.
That's that compatible piece. And finding those people that actually align to that is very important. So I love that.
Yeah. Now it's so not who he is. Like, listen, he is a word man. So if you take him to somewhere to get straight word, he good. But he knows sometimes I just need to shout. So he gonna deal with it. He just be like, Lord have mercy.
Wow, hilarious. Another thing is that, one, Lady J has a rule that our bedroom is called the S room.
That's right.
It's called the sleep and sex room. So
okay.
We don't bring church into the bedroom.
Yeah.
If we need to have a meeting, we have a board meeting at the kitchen table.
All right. Yeah. I say, do we need to get up?
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries.
Get up.
But you all know Lady J's personality. Lady J is who she is all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm a military man. I'm a very structured person. My day is planned out the day before. She tries to interrupt it, but I don't let her. With her spontaneity, you know.
You sound like me, Lady J. My husband be like, please don't put all your stuff over here on me. That's on
No.
you. I'm like, I know. I just want you to know about it. Yeah, that's good for you.
So she keeps our home fun. She keeps it lively and joyful. And I keep our home structured.
Yes.
Yes.
We balance each other out.
Nice
but I think one of the things when it comes to being pastors and people in leadership, I try to keep our house separate from the church, right? I want my house to be a safe place. Everybody can't come to my house, right? If they get invited to my house, it's for something very special. Or, you know what I'm saying? There's something very specific. I try to keep the church and our home separate because
very good.
I need a safe space. I need a space that I could call home. I need a space that is where peace is, right? There's no drama. I need that. And so I try to keep the two of those very separate.
Awesome.
And then the last thing real quickly with that, just want to help some pastors. The Bible says if a man that can't rule his own home well, should not be in leadership. So it's important that we have our home in order. You know, what people don't understand about pastors is you got two sets of bills. You got your home bills, and then you got the church's bills.
Yes.
You know, so we have our home has got to be on lock. It's got to be way back there in the back where I'm not ever worrying about that. I got to worry about if them people gonna give or not and take care of the church.
Yes.
Real talk. Yes. Okay, it's gonna be my last question.
Like during COVID, or when we were kind of shut down, but we were still doing Bible study. And we would have a few over to our home. And so I understood because one, I understand the assignment for his life. And so although I'm very particular about my house, I understood that this big old living room is now going to be a space that we want to church, right? Because assignment and vision is still a part of who we are. And that's so good. We allowed that to happen. Now we moved from that house. We got a new house. And so he respects kind of my boundaries when it comes to that, to say, okay, we ain't gonna have a whole lot of church people over here, you know. I got you, girl.
Right.
And so we kind of have that balance.
And it is important to give and take. When I hear y'all speak, it feels like through y'all's experience, you learned how the art of give and take. And it really, I mean, that's necessary for every relationship. It's got to be give and take. I love that. And so I'm going to wrap up with this last question because that time flew by. We are way over, but it's been good. I want to hear this. And then we also want to, at the end, give some time for you guys to tell us about your new event that's coming up.
Okay.
If you could reverse time and preach to your younger self about relationships and marriage, what would be the title of your message and why?
You say?
Ooh.
You could take a quick second. If you could reverse time and preach to your younger self about relationships and marriage, what will be the title of your message and why?
Well, listen, let me flow right here.
Like, you're always ready. He's like, hold on, let me ponder.
Well, listen, because I grew up in a very traditional setting, right? And that's not bad. It was good for them. Right. My father worked at the steel mill at Buckeye Steel. My mother was a homemaker. Right. That's what we saw growing up. My mother was a genius. She graduated from high school at 16. Mind you, my parents were sharecroppers in the South. And so my mother couldn't go to school year round for the whole school term. She went to school for 2 months and then she had to stay out because she had to work the harvest. And so she went back to school, you know, when it came time for spring and then break for summer. But she did not go to nursing school, which was her desire, because she thought that her position was to serve her husband and to take care of her children and her family. My message would be, woman, thou art loose. You are loose and free to be all that God created you to be within your individual self. You can also find balance in serving your husband and serving your family, serving the vision of the family, but you are free and loose to become all that God created you to be.
Wow, so good.
Mm-hmm.
And a timely message, I'm sure, for someone who's listening. That's really good. And on to you, Pastor Stevens.
Wow. Man, I really would I would seek wisdom.
Mm.
Most young men think they know it all.
Mm.
And they just, especially if you're a type A personality like myself. I'm a type A military type guy. I make a decision and I go. I wish there's a whole lot of decisions I wish I could take back, because I did not have the wisdom.
That's good.
The wisdom that I needed. And so for any man, I would tell, I'm in such a place now where I'm seeking wisdom. It's crazy. I went to a volunteer at a school one time, and God has spoke to me. He said, all life is about the ability to learn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And every new level in life is about the ability to learn.
Yeah.
And every new level that you go to, you have to learn how to live and to be sustained on that new level. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age you are. Every new level that you go to, you have to learn how to live on that new level.
So good.
And so it's
so good.
Don't get stuck.
Man.
That's so good. Well, we want to have y'all come back, okay? I know we all busy, but y'all got to come back because we need some more. We didn't even get to all the questions. Y'all know I said we wasn't going to get to them anyway.
Right.
Well, this is so good. I do want us to pause for the calls because earlier, Lady Janet, you talked about love reformation, and I know that is a part of your upcoming event. I'm going to just highlight y'all and give y'all a moment. Please tell the people about the upcoming event, how you came about, how you came up with it, why now, and how they can participate if they're in the Columbus area.
Okay. So Love Reformation, listen, it's happening. It's an event that's happening Friday, April 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Right? You do not want to miss this event. This 7 p.m. This fun field event. Let me tell you, we have so much fun. This is where me and Terry TW. It's so funny saying that. We call him TW, his nickname. Where we are like our raw, full, authentic selves. Okay.
Yes.
We answer all the questions people have. There is nothing taboo. But we feel like, unless we give people a space or an atmosphere where they could be free to ask such questions, then you could be having people walking around in ignorance or receiving their opinions from the world, right? And so we are not preaching. Let me tell you, this is not that. This invitation is for those. You could be saved, unsaved. You could have a different faith. But of course, our faith is still what it is. So, but we give practical information to people. But the biggest thing with Love Reformation is to bring fun back into relationships. Sometimes we are so vision focused or life focused or goal focused that we forget to have fun. And when you lose fun, you almost lose the relationship. And so we want people to get back to having fun, to enjoying each other, to create a community for themselves of other people that they could learn from, they could go have fun with. And so that's really what it's about.
Yeah. As well as we want to be an example and also give some nuggets on how to flow together, on how to respect and honor the giftings of each other, and respect and honor the differences in one another.
Right.
I think that's been the secret to our marriages is we respect one another's strengths that likely are our weaknesses. And that helps us to balance ourselves out. So Love Reformation is all about, hopefully, those that will come, they'll go back home. They'll get to the table, go to the boardroom of their home, and let's reform this thing. Let's put this thing back together on a good foundation so that we can move to the next level.
Yeah. And so the event will be held at our church in our banquet space. And that is 1914 Bryce Road at the corner of Bryce and Livingston in the strip behind Popeye's Chicken. And so it's for couples, which is $75 for each couple. When you go in there, make sure you don't put two people. We know it's two people in the couple, but just put one, so you're paying $75 and not $150. Okay. And then for singles, that price is,
I believe it's 35.
I think it's $35 that's on there. Listen, and we have received a lot of flack from leaders in the city when it came to inviting singles to an event like this, but we have remained steadfast because we're like, singles need to see the reality of marriage. They need to see the reality of people together. They need to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. Because if you're just getting your information from your other single friends, then that might be why you're so single. I don't know. But we want you to come to hear and to see and to be a part. For some people, they have come as singles and they eventually got married, right? Mm-hmm. There were some people who thought they were engaged and said, nope, we ain't getting married.
We ain't doing that.
Right. So it's going to be catered and food's going to be provided, games, fun, all of that.
Awesome. And I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up for you while you're talking.
Okay.
The flyer for you guys. Okay. I'm going to try to be there if I can get childcare and all. The only thing about being married, and I'll throw this out there, being married is awesome, but you know what? It's a lot of moving logistics. Like,
especially when you're on a family.
Stuff, now you got to figure every little thing out. So if you can make it, if you are in Columbus, Ohio, I just pulled this screenshot of the event. The main details are on there. You can also find more information since we're all on Facebook. Just click on Janet or Pastor Terry's name and go to their page and you'll see more. But so proud of you. So proud of everything you guys have going on. I appreciate just your witness, your experience, your testimony. I mean, we really are better off when we can learn something from one another. And so this has been great. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to leave with the community as we wrap up almost at the hour of our start? Anything you want to leave us with real quick?
Again, we want to thank you again for having us. And,
absolutely.
And it's always a good thing when we can learn from one another. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I've always said that sometimes people are always looking to older people to learn, which is a good thing. But sometimes some of the greatest lessons I've learned them from my peers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've learned them from my peers. And so those that are on, kudos to you for just joining in and being a part of this. We may not be 40 and 50 year experts on this, but you can always learn from anyone.
Always can learn. Yes. Yeah. Great. Anything from you, Lady J?
Listen, I would just say, as I stated before, if you're single, spend time learning who you are. Mm-hmm. Spend time in enjoying your own company and checking some of those things off your list for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Do not hold time at a standstill because you're waiting on somebody. Mm-hmm. Go travel, accomplish some things, do some things, right? While you're in your waiting season. We always say, Ruth was found working and not twerking. Okay? And do some things for yourself. And people who are coupled up, married up, engaged up, whatever that is, do not stop having fun with each other. Enjoy each other's company, and be willing to have some of those honest and tough conversations with each other. Be real.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah,
wow.
And to the brothers, listen, you really need God. You can't do all this on your own. Yeah. And you have God in your life and you can really hear from God. It takes the pressure off of you. And you got a lot of brothers that are, killing themselves and going into mental health and doing crazy, criminal things because the pressure. And I'm telling you, God can relieve that pressure. I tell people all the time, when my wife asks me what we're going to do, I respond, I say, shoot, I just asked God the same question.
We're going to wait for the answer
We're
together.
gonna wait for the answer.
I love it. That's the best thing you can do. You
That's
know, that's awesome. I love it. You guys are phenomenal. Again, thank you so much for just sharing your time, your wisdom this evening. Kudos on all that you have going and all you have done. Yeah, I always see y'all doing different things, and you guys are a good reflection of a couple that has fun together and all of it. And so keep up all that you are doing. Thanks again for being here. I am going to say to our Real Talk family, thank you so much. We see y'all with the comments on the side. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for chiming in, for participating. We appreciate you. This group is all for you. So anything else you want to hear from the Stevens, drop the comments below this video. Reach out to them directly and just stay engaged. Real Talk is for you. Until next time, thanks so much for being here today. Have a great rest of your evening. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us
Thank
again.
you